Hola, this is Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Touching Corners. Today we are here with my very good friend Paula Purpera. Say hi, Paula.
How are you?
And so Paula is somebody that I met, ironically enough. I'm going to tell them the story of how we met. Is that all right?
It's the best story ever.
It is a really great story. So at one point I was looking for a job. This is probably about 3 years ago now. And we were both sitting in the waiting room of the same doctor's office interviewing for the same position, and she starts talking to me. She's like, are you interviewing for this position? I'm like, I am. And we're like, we're both out here. Is it a little weird that two people that are interviewing for the same position are there at the same time and like coming in and out? And we're like, then we start chatting, and it turns out we got along like super great.
We became friends.
We became friends after that. So we were vying for the same interview. By the way, neither of us decided to take it or go for it. So it worked out well. But things have gone a lot better for you. But first, I want to start, so a little bit about my channel and a little bit about like what I'm working on is basically is finding your passion and pursuing your passions, whatever it may be. And it could be a transition of passions. It could be like, I did this, I achieved that, and now what's the next thing that I have in store for me? Which is a great segue into your story, because I feel like you have done and been reincarnated into so many different iterations of who you are. And so why don't we start, we're going to take it, obviously, like, why don't we start from little Paula and where you got your ambition to do everything that you do. By the way, right now Paula works in cosmetic dermatology. She does all the lovely little things that we all love to like nip tucks in the face, fillers, like, you know, gives you that extra skin, rejuvenated, young, vibrant looking skin that you're looking for. This is what she does right now. But let's talk about how, before you even came to doing this, which is what you're doing now as a physician assistant, mind you, where were you? How did you start out? Where are you from?
So, well, I was born and raised in the Philippines. And from a very young age, my dream job was actually to be a National Geographic photographer.
Oh my gosh.
And one of my favorite movies as a kid was Top Gun. So I, kind of thinking about like, how do you make that kind of, how do you make that marry, or how do you have that combination? And I didn't know when I was growing up, those were my ambitions. I really wanted to do that. I wanted to be a fighter pilot and a National Geographic photographer.
That's so badass, by the way.
But I was living in the Philippines then my family moved to New York when I was a teenager. And I had dreams, like I said, of being a fighter pilot. So I decided to join the U.S. Air Force. They didn't let me fly the plane. They knew better. So I actually worked in medicine, in medical field, where I worked in pathology, looking at people's blood and all of that, and helping in their diagnoses. So I really love the medicine aspect of it. After I got out of the military, I actually worked with a lot of PAs in the military. So I knew, I had a feeling that I really wanted to do something similar to being a PA, but I didn't know how to do it. So after I got out of the military, I worked for the Cleveland Clinic. And there I met some people that were going to be a PA. And I said, this is something that maybe I should explore.
PA's physician assistant, for those people that don't know.
And I thought that I should give it a shot. I mean, I was like, maybe I'm too old. I've been doing this for a long time.
How old were you at the time, if you don't mind me asking?
So I was in my early 30s.
Okay.
You know, when I started the kind of process of doing the school. So I actually had to repeat some of my schooling because that's how old I was. Your credits have to be at least 10 years old, or about 10 years old or less, but mine were over that, so just to be honest. And
that's why you got to keep it real.
Yeah. So I was going back to school, taking all those classes, and actually at the same time, because I moved, from all over the country, being in the military to being in Ohio at the Cleveland Clinic, I didn't know anybody. So I decided as a hobby, I wanted to go out and meet people. So I actually started a promotions and marketing company where I would go out to parties and take photos of people. It isn't National Geographic, but it's maybe close.
You were following your passion for photography,
and I really love.
And she's a very social person. For those of you guys who know her or don't know her, she's amazingly social and great at it. Like when she goes into the room, it's like the room lights up. So people are drawn to her, and so that must have worked out really really well for you.
Yeah, so I actually, you know, created a really beautiful group network of people. And so the little promotions and marketing company that I had, we actually turned it into an ad agency. So from making $0, we actually ended up making about $500,000 in a few years, and we actually sold the company.
Awesome.
So yeah, and then during that time we sold it, I actually went into PA school. So
you were like, I still want to try the medicine. I just sold this amazing company, and what's next? That's awesome.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm one of those people that I can't like just do one thing. I feel like I have like that ADD where I have so many things that I'm interested in, and I can't just focus on one thing. So I have to like make things hard for myself.
I love that. I actually just did a video on it on my channel with regards to being a multi-passionate person and exploring all the different corners of yourself, which is like my Touching Corners channel and things like that. And so here you are, you're living exactly what, that's why we get along clearly, like she's living my creed. Twinsies, you know.
Soul sister.
Exactly. That sounds a lot better.
I love it. No, but I think that's true, because like, you know, people are multifaceted. We have multiple passions, and we can't just like put ourselves in one corner and not explore other things. You know, I feel like the brain is so plastic and huge, and we have to explore everything that comes along with it.
Absolutely.
And where our heart lies.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what I did. I went into PA school, and then my husband and I moved to Miami after PA school. And you know, 3 years ago we met, interviewing for a dermatology job, and now I'm here. It's been over 2 years that I've worked here, and I really love it.
Where's here, by the way? Do you want to share that?
Yeah, this is Baumann Cosmetic and Research Institute. My address is 4500 Biscayne, if you want to come and see me.
You guys totally should. She's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I really love it. I think it's a good marriage of art and science, which is something that I'm really passionate about. Right?
It does.
So I love seeing my patients, making them happy, making them feel good about, you know, who they are and what they look like. One of my most rewarding things is actually seeing a 16-year-old patient with really, really terrible acne, and she couldn't even look me in the eye, but then honestly, after her skin is cleared, you could tell that she's like a different person, or the person that she really is meant to be.
Right.
You know, so I really, really like that and enjoy that about my job.
That's awesome. Oh, that's so amazing. And then through all these reincarnations and all these jobs and career choice, you still have managed to maintain a successful marriage. You and your husband have been married for a longer time than most people have been alive.
Yes.
How long?
Over 17 years, so it'll be 18 years.
17 years. And she clearly looks super young, so you can imagine.
I was a child bride. No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. That's
funny. No, but you guys got married in the military, right?
Yeah,
you got married rather young,
at 21 years old.
That's not you know, terrible. It's pretty decent. 21.
Yeah, the frontal lobe hasn't really developed yet fully.
Hey, it's still working.
We have a very good partnership, and I'm very fortunate because he really supports all my endeavors. He's my biggest cheerleader, and he's like, whatever you want to do, we're going to go for it. He's going to make it possible. Like, I come up with all these things. I'm like, I want to do promotions, marketing company. I'll help you. I want to do this. I want to do that. It's been very, very, I'm very grateful for having him in my life. Yeah.
That is amazing. I have to say, I have a wonderful partner too, so I completely empathize with what you're saying.
Awesome.
Yes, thank you. And so, I mean, she's definitely very supportive and helps me pursue, you know, my passions, and that's awesome. And that's what we all need. You know, if you're not with the right person that's not supporting what you need to do, you need to do you, boo, and figure it out. But
I agree. You have to, you know,
do,
because life is too short to kind of like be in the backseat of someone or follow someone else's dream. So it's good to follow your dream with somebody else. Like my husband and I are very fortunate. We both love to travel. So I think it'll be hard being with someone that doesn't share that passion, because I think the joy in traveling is the experience of it. Whether it be good or bad, the worst experience that you've ever had traveling will be kind of like something that will make you close. So I think that it's good to have someone like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. That sounds wonderful. And so You've done this, obviously. You have so much more left in store. Like, where do you see yourself? I mean, I know that's that question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? But no, like, ideally, where do you see yourself going?
I actually really love that question because me being interested in a lot of different things, I see myself as someone that actually helps a lot of people, or at least the people that I'm really passionate about helping. So being a veteran, I do a little bit of advocacy for them, and I basically want to create kind of a company that helps advocate for veterans, because here's the thing, I feel like people have this preconceived notion about how a veteran should look like or how they should be. You know, someone with mental illness, people think someone that's like homeless and an old crotchety like Vietnam War veteran, which, you know, yes, they are veterans, but you know what? It's more than that. Like, I'm a veteran and I'm proud of it, and I feel like I want to open opportunities for more veterans to be considered for things that they wouldn't be considered. So that's really a big thing for me as veterans. And I also love, as you know, volunteering at Lotus House.
Yes.
So I want to continue that.
Do you want to share a little bit about what Lotus House is? And I'll make sure that I connect the link.
Absolutely. So Lotus House is a beautiful shelter for women and children that are victims of domestic violence. And what I do in my own little way is every year for my birthday, I have all my girlfriends come to their beautiful boutique. Stephanie has been a huge part of this. Yeah, beautiful.
I didn't get to go this year, but it's definitely something that I enjoyed a ton.
Yes, for my birthday this year, we're going to do another one. So I bring everyone together, and we bring our gently used clothes and shoes that we, you know, are tired of it. You know, first of all, with all the fast fashion, there's so much, we have so much stuff.
Yes.
So it's good to kind of share that with your girlfriends, and then whatever gets left over gets donated to Lotus House for them to sell at their boutique, and all the proceeds go to the shelter. So I really, really like that. That's something I really want to pursue. And basically just grow my business, grow my brand into something that people can aspire to, and hopefully help other people in the process.
That sounds amazing. Yeah. I mean, if you're all not inspired by Paula's story, I don't know how you could not be, because she's definitely a hard worker and she does it with such ease. I have to say, I've known you for 3 years and I've never seen her angry. She's just always so easygoing, happy, loving, and it's such a pleasure to know her, and it's such a pleasure to be around her. When you're around her, it almost like increases your vibration in life. Like you feel like you can achieve more as a result of being around positive, successful people like Paula. So thank you for that, Paula, for what you do for me. And I'll make sure, by the way, that I include the Lotus House link down in the bottom bar so you guys can check it out, and make sure if you're interested in donating, you can. With that, we are going to wrap up the interview, and I do want to know, what would you like to say to our viewers and anybody watching right now with regards to following your passion, following your dreams, and kind of just, I'll let you have a little bit of the last word before that, and share.
You know, I think the most important thing about following your dreams is really looking inside of you. You know, it's good to ask people for advice and, oh, what would you do? But really, you only have one life, and you need to really follow it and really look at yourself and look inside, because is your passion somebody else's passion, or is this really what you want? So it is good to get advice, but it's also good to really internalize it and think about it yourself. And it's also good to, even though it's crazy, follow your heart, follow your gut, because this is what I did. You know, people told me, oh, don't get married at 21 years old to someone you barely know, and don't go to the military. It's all these things that people say, don't. You know, I was like, if I fail, you know, at least I tried. And I think there's nothing worse in life than regret. So never ever feel that, okay? Be happy in your skin and be happy in your life. All right? That's it.
Well, those are amazing words to close with. Paula, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. I know she's a busy schedule. She had a full clinic before this, and she saw all these patients, and she still manages to look so fabulous. So
I love what I do.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you leave a message in the bottom bar. If you're interested in connecting with Paula, I'll make sure that I'll put all her information below so that you can do so. And that is it for now. We'll check you guys out again soon. We'll talk to you later. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, thank you, Paula.
Thanks. Girl, this is really, really great.
Yay.
So like,
I know.
When I look at
your
you,
face.